you know, we're kind of cutting and chasing here, and we're flipping and flopping. Let me go ahead, and we're gonna fast forward this to approximately a year and a half, 2.5 years. Did I just say 2 to 2.5 years? Yes, I did. Because that's when Norm bought the car, approximately 2 years, 2.5 years. And then, of course, we tried to sell it umpteen times, and we couldn't even get the money that he gave for it. Now, circumstances arose. Remember, the car came with a fuel injection drivetrain. Well, Norm decided to take that out and sell that separately from the car. I warned him and told him that he shouldn't do it, that he should keep that there. And you know, I gave him my input on it, but he went ahead. There was a guy that wanted to buy it, so he went ahead and sold the fuel injection drivetrain. So now we got a car that doesn't have a motor or transmission in it. And the problem that we had is, you know, we're trying to basically build a body on roller where somebody can buy this car and finish it out. So having that drivetrain was a very crucial situation to it. The reason that Norm opted out is because we would have had to buy a wire harness for it, and the wire harness was $1,000 or something like that. One more problem that we had is the suspension on it was not Ford suspension. It was basically Chevrolet suspension all the way around. Now, it did have airbags. We saw that. But the airbag system was not all there. He had some purchase. He had a couple airbags that were old and nasty. And, you know, he had a triangular 4-link setup that was junk. We ended up taking the Chevy rear end, scrapping it. I think Norm sold that too. So now what we basically got a street beast car, like if you would have bought it from the factory. No suspension, no rear ends, no motors, no trans, nothing. And we're still trying to sell this thing. Couldn't sell it, couldn't even give it away. I had it on Hot Rod Hotline. I had it on, what is it, ClassicCars.com or whatever that was. We put it on Craigslist. I had it on eBay, on several ads. And the damn thing would not sell. It wouldn't sell. So this is where we are coming in 2 years later after the car was purchased. Okay, we're coming back to literally my friend Pete saying, I will build the body on roller. I'll go ahead and build a body on roller. Norm, what I want you to do is I found an 8.8 rear end. You need to buy that. I'll buy all the supplies to make this a body on roller. Get a front suspension for this thing, Mustang 2 front suspension. We need to buy some steering knuckles and some double D joints, this, that, and the other. And then we should be able to sell it as a body on roller. So this is where we're going to pick up, where my friend Pete made a deal with Norm and said, let's build the body on roller. I'll do all the work. I'll buy all the fiberglass materials. I'll do whatever it takes to get this thing on 4 wheels and tires. You buy the rear end, you buy the front suspension parts, and I'll paint the frame, I'll paint underneath the car, I'll do all the labor work. We won't have no charge at all on it. And then when we sell it, I'll get my money, you get your money. Well, that didn't happen. That didn't happen because the car never sold. I was in the middle of moving to Moab, Utah, and Norm had this trailer right here, this 22-foot enclosed bread trailer that we're looking at, okay? And instead of waiting around to sell the car, I went ahead and did all the labor and all the money I invested in it, and I told Norm, give me the trailer, I'll take the bread trailer, that'll be my trade out on it, and then when you sell it, you get the money. So there was my pay right there, because I needed that trailer to move all my stuff to Moab. And Norm agreed to it. He was getting out of swapping. He used to be a big swap meter guy. He was getting out of that. So I got this trailer for everything I did. So this is where we get involved, and me and Minnie, the body shop girl, end up building this car. That's where we're throwing in. This is where we come into that. I just basically told you all the backstory of the situation. The guy that we bought the car from, when we were buying the car from him, and we were at his kitchen table, he was profusely spitting up blood and coughing. He had 4 or 5 massive heart attacks. He had a roof that needed replaced on his house because he didn't have any insurance, and the bank was going to take his house if he didn't get this roof done. So we got the roof done. That was the trade out on it. Norm paid for that. He actually ended up paying $2,000 more than what the guy wanted to just sell us the car for. But what's a guy supposed to do when you see a man spitting up blood in front of you? He's ready to be homeless, and you're sitting there negotiating buying a car. What are you supposed to do? So, being the nice guy that Norm is, he went ahead and got the car, and we held on to the car for as long as we could, trying to sell it. This is where we come in, me and Minnie the body shop girl, to build the car so we can sell it. Let's get on with the story, and let's get her done. What I'm working on today, or should I say we, just not me, myself, and I. When I say we today, I'm talking about Minnie, the body shop girl. She's the only one that I can count on to actually help we, which is me, myself, and I, is we are assembling a very famous kit car back in the day. It's called a Street Beast. Now, the reason we're assembling this car is because we are selling it. We are not keeping it. This is not a job for somebody, and I'm bringing all this up because a little under 10 years ago, these things used to be worth gold. And the kit that you're looking at right here, I'm getting ready to cut this center section out of this grill shell, because you got a chrome grill shell that goes, a chrome grill that goes inside here, and this has to be removed. But what you're looking at right here, purchased brand new, was $15,750. Was not built. It was in a crate, and it was in a bunch of over 100 pieces. Now, this kit included all the steel structure, all the fiberglass pieces, included a frame that was not painted, no front suspension, no rear end, but you got the whole kit with a wire harness, with gauges and other accessories, but you still had to supply your suspension, drivetrain, interior, and then any accessories you wanted, like, let's say, power windows, power doors, remote entry doors, this, that, and the other. So these kits got a little expensive to really actually build one. Now, up until about 2 or 3 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, these were actually really, really popular cars. What Minnie the body shop girl's doing here, she's hopefully tapping those out far enough down to where you're threading everything.
Not very successfully, I might add.
Okay. Very hard to do. You need to get some more silicone on that so you can...
Pete.
Okay. Silicone makes the lube action a lot easier to do.
Not really.
When you got a tight hole and a big rod going in.
You need to edit that out.
So what Minnie the body shop girl's doing is she is tapping out the holes for the trunk. And when I say tapping out the holes, these are the bolt holes. When you used to buy these cars, none of the stuff was mounted. You had to do everything yourself. And I actually became a professional on building them. I purchased a car from this company. They were looking for builders. And I think initially, I would say that it was a scam for me to buy a car, wouldn't you? It wasn't really that they needed builders. That was just a scam to say, hey, we can sell cars if we tell people we need builders.
Especially when we got out there to pick up the car.
Yeah. Okay, hold on. What are you talking about?
When my mother went out there and picked up the kit we bought to become the builder for them.
Yeah, what did they say? What was the action there?
It was just a boiler room.
Boiler room. Fluke. Filthy, dirty, scummy, trashy.
There was
illegals.
There was no showroom. I thought there would be a showroom.
Right, you thought it was going to be high-tech, Lamborghini-style action going on down in Miami, Florida.
Lamborghini, but at least a showroom was something to look at. But no, it was a factory and a warehouse where
filthy,
there was
dirty,
a bunch of guys smoking, drinking coffee,
Cubans
on the phone.
Weren't they?
No, Pete.
Okay. Oh, you're talking about the sales office. You're talking the sales. Okay, I thought you meant the factory. Okay, so you went to the sales office, and you walked in there and almost gagged from all the cigarette smoke and coffee smell.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know more than half them guys that work there are dead now. Did you know that?
I'm sure they are.
But anyway, back to the story. So they talked us into buying one of these cars to become a builder for them, and I went ahead and I built the car complete. And then they said, okay, we got to send out a certified builder certified guy. Remember that? Yeah. To certify your car. So they flew somebody all the way to Dallas. Of course, it was at show car time. There was a car show going on, and they said, oh, well, since we're down there, let's take your car to a show, and we could go ahead and sell some of them. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
So they came down there and said, oh, you did a beautiful job on it. Yeah, we want you to be a builder, blah, blah, blah. Well, they never did end up sending us any business. We basically went out and got our own business. And
but we got them a lot of business.
Yeah, we got them a lot of business.
Because every show we went to, they supplied us with these
brochures, the
slips. Yeah. Get their name and number so that they could call them.
A mailer.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
we get 400 or 500.
More than that. So anyway, we got a lot of business for this place. And so in turn, we kind of, I wouldn't say became partners, because I actually fell out of partnership with them twice because they were screwing people around and I didn't like it. Remember that? And then they tried to screw us around. But anyway, in the end, my friend Pete became a street beast guru on building these cars. So that's what we're doing here, is we're actually building this car. Now, the way that we acquired this car is that a guy in Dallas actually bought this car approximately 10 years ago, and I was supposed to build the car for him. And then he became deathly ill. He also lost the insurance on his house. There was a major hailstorm that hit his house and completely took the roof of his house off, basically, all the shingles. And he called me up and asked me if I knew anybody that wanted to buy this, and I said, no, I don't know anybody that wants to buy your car that's not built, that's still sitting on the crate, brand new. He said that he couldn't build the car and that he needed to sell it because his health has went downhill extremely, and if he doesn't get a roof on his house, then he has to forfeit it to the bank, and then he'll be homeless. So me and my buddy Nitpick Norm went over to this guy's house. I think his name was David or Dan or something. We go over to his house, we look the car over, and at that time I thought that these cars were still hot items. The roof cost $5,800 to have it installed, and we basically, Norm went ahead and paid for the roof. We traded out for the car, and it was on the crate, and it sat out in my backyard right there in that spot for almost a year and a half. Now, I told Norm, within that year and a half, we tried to sell the kit car. We advertised on several different internet sites, mainly Craigslist. We got a lot of calls from all over the United States, but of course, you know, we got down to the point where we just want to sell it for what we got in it. And of course, people on Craigslist are shyster, cheap bastards, and they're going to Jew you down as much money as possible. So we never did end up selling it. So I told Norm, I said, you know what? The only way that we're going to be able to sell this car is if my friend Pete actually builds the car. So that's basically what we're in the middle of right now, is building this car. Now, I already got the doors hung, and the doors came out pretty good. We got 75% of all the steel structure, and you can see that over here. I'm getting ready today to hang all the front end parts, and that's what is going on over here. I've got to cut this center section out to go ahead and manipulate this to fit on that, so the side panels will fit to this, and then the hood will fit to the side panels. I can put all the steel structure inside there, and we'll be done with that. And then I think Minnie, the body shop girl, has got all these threaded, I guess.
I gotta do that one.
Okay, did you get all the way down to the bottom?
Yeah.
All right, so just hanging the deck lid on these things is approximately a 2-hour job, 2 to 3 hour job. And as you can see, I had to cut a hole out. Now this is how you hang these. You have to cut a hole out in the back wall so you climb inside, and while somebody's out here lining up the outside of the deck lid, of course you're on the inside lining all this up and marking it and notching it and getting the hinges precisely where they're supposed to be. And then once you bolt it together, of course what I do is I come back and I weld everything on instead of relying on nuts and bolts that can actually vibrate loose and make the situation later worse in the end. So that's where we're at, and that's the situation we got. Now this car will be built as a body on roller, and I'm going to go ahead and tell everybody what a body on roller is. A body on roller car means that it's got all the suspension front and rear. The body is mounted, all the body parts are completely mounted. And what you need to do is supply a drivetrain, which consists of a motor and a transmission and everything that makes that work. And you also need to complete the interior, and you also need to have the car painted. The car will be in primer when it's done. There's a lot of confusion about what a body on roller is. Well, that is what body on roller car means. That it is a car that looks basically like this, but needs to be finished out. Now, what we have done, and I will go ahead and mention Nitpick Norm again, he purchased a $1,300 front suspension package for this, upper and lower tubular control style Mustang 2 with a manual rack that came with it, but we also have a power rack that goes with it if the person that buys this thing wants to convert it to power rack. We're going to go ahead, I'm going to go ahead and install the steering column, which is a GM style late model tilt steering column. I'll go ahead and install that, hook the steering up. It's got an 8.8 Mustang GT Posi-Track rear end out of a late model Mustang. All the suspension has been installed. Everything is painted underneath. It's got brand new brakes all the way around. Everything's done. You get the roller wheels with it. Okay, this is a body on roller wheel. You don't go out and buy $20,000 worth of wheels and tires and say, hey, I got a body on roller. This is it. This is a body on fucking roller right here. Do you understand what I'm trying to say, Minnie, the body shop girl?
I'm not listening to you when you yell like that.
Okay, now hold on a minute. Let me ask you a question.
Quit yelling.
Let me ask you a question. Hello? Hello? So you see the situation that we've got ourselves into by being the nice guy and helping people out. I got my wife pissed off at me. I'm doing work. Hello?
If you didn't yell and scream,
All right, I'm doing work and not making any money over here, hoping that I will make money soon if somebody buys it, but it seems to me like people out there don't know what a body on roller is. And they think they should get motors and transmissions and interior jobs and paint jobs and everything else. Well, let me tell you what, this is the deal. Get this out of the way. Get ready to mount all these body parts, because that's our goal today. We've got to finish this car today!
Well, we're not going to get it done because you're too busy on the camera.
We still got to cut the windshield out. Son of a bitch. I still got to mount the dash in. We got to go to Summit Racing and get the fucking steering parts we need. That's more money we got to spend on this piece of shit. Do we got money in the bank to at least get those?
No. You're not even going to get that far today, Pete.
Yes, I am. We're finishing this today. Minnie, the body shop girl.
Turn the camera off and let's get ready. Come on, man.
Oh my God, so bitch, what the hell's going on out there? Still got that ugly hat, but you know what? Sammy Salami's here doing the best I can do. Got my beautiful cigar. If I could just find out what side of the face it's supposed to be on. But the situation is, you know, what are you supposed to do when the guy really needs a break in life? Are you supposed to go ahead and tell him, hell no, you cocksucker? Hell no. You can't do it. You can't do it if you got a heart. But what you gotta do is you gotta tell yourself the time has come to break the limit and stop right here. My friend Pete didn't give up. My friend Pete decided, you know what? I'm gonna finish that car. And that's exactly what he's doing. Minnie, the body shop girl, decided she was gonna go ahead and disagree with him and tell him, hey, you shouldn't have bought the piece of shit in the first place. It's a little bit too late for that, ain't it, Minnie, the body shop girl? This is Sammy Salami in my ugly hat. My friend Pete took my hat from me, won't give me McDonald's hamburger, won't give me nothing. All I got is an old glass of ice right here, shaking around in there, melting down the water, son of a bitch. Let's get back to advertising this video, and hopefully you understand the situation. Bastard. Son of a bitch, bastard, cocksucker, mother. Yeah, I miss my hat. I miss that hat. I want my hat back, please. Son of a bitch. It's a cocksucker. It's a son of a bitch motherfucking cocksucker's what it is, cause it's a son of a bitch. It's like a fucking bastard.